We're starting off with a bang, guys. Welcome back, Qualcast Nation. I'm telling you right now, we are going to shift from overwhelmed to calm and connected with Dr. Melissa Saunders. So, welcome to the show, young lady.
Thank you, Dr. K. So glad to be here.
Oh man, I it's a privilege seeing your content. I'm feeling constantly inspired to take care of myself, to be more kinder to myself, to focus on being a more centered individual. So, number one, just want to thank you out of the gate, Melissa. Your content is gold. But I gotta, I gotta get your story. Like you're a chiropractor. You put this focus on trying to get people in a better state. And when you think of chiropractor, you think about trying to manage people's pain. I've definitely seen a chiropractor for my ailing back. But yeah, how did you get into this, Melissa?
Yeah, I mean, that's a loaded question. I think just to kind of niche in for a second to help the audience know who we're speaking to and what we're speaking about here. This is really a conversation that's so needed right now, I feel, because we've all reached a time and place where we're outsourcing all of our power and all of our ability to feel connected and regulated. And I love speaking from a nervous system standpoint. So, what I mean by that is like when we all experience those human stressful emotions, which we all experience, thank God, because it means we have a family, we have relationships, we have a job, we have stress. This is called eustress, EU stress. This isn't distress. Um, but for so long, like in those situations where I actually needed tools to help me regulate in the moment, where you've got three kids, I've got three kids too, like where I'm living in a very high go 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 state, which I know you can relate to as an ICU practitioner, and I've got my little girl in front of me needing me to like slow that down and be present. Like I can't go get a massage and calm down and then be with her. Or in those moments that we've all had when like you're running late and then of course you hit traffic and then the coffee spills, and then like in those states, tell me how to regulate my nervous system without going and jumping on my PMF mat. I come from the natural health community, and I think there's so many of these tools that we've talked about for, decades that we've all used that are now reaching the mainstream, which I'm so excited about. Whether we're calling it biohacking, whatever we're calling it, but like the saunas and the ice bath and all these things that can help us reach a natural or a healthier state naturally, they're incredible. And at the same time, I'm watching it and I'm like, please, please let there also be a strong message that the most powerful tool we have is in here. And the way that we access it is through regulating our nervous system. And we can teach ourselves how to do that in the midst of chaos without the ice bath, without the sauna, because that's when we actually need it. And so for me, the discovery came because I was a busy woman juggling work and my children, and I got really, really, really sick. And I think I'll share a bit of that story if that's okay.
Please.
I had to create these tools because what I realized is that, once I got better, I was just going to get back to a place of being a, busy, healthy woman doing all the right things, but feeling extremely overwhelmed by those right things and healthy things, just being another item on a very long to-do list. And so I think like a lot of us, especially women, maybe you guys do this too, but when we're not taking great care of ourselves as we're told we're supposed to, or when we're not able to put that oxygen mask on first because we don't have time, we tend to guilt and shame ourselves. And we think that we're failing. We're again struggling and we're not doing it right, rather than realizing we're sold a system of self-care that doesn't fit into our busy lives. So this is my favorite conversation to have because I think it's just such a perfect time. We're all ready to take good care of ourselves. It's just time to have tools that actually work for us.
And without you let me know if it's too personal, but what happened to you, Melissa?
Yeah, no, nothing's too personal. We can talk about anything. Um, so I was running the practice. So I now live in Miami with my family, but I'm actually back in New Jersey in our office. We're back to visit family for about a month. So my husband and I built this practice. It's an integrative health center. We've got about 30 employees here. I was one of the main practitioners, full patient load, Also running the practice, right? Helping manage our amazing team. Thank God we've got amazing staff, but playing the role of HR and manager. Homeschooling my three children at the time, working out and cooking healthy meals, like juggling all of the things. And that's what mine looked like. And I think we all have some version of that. So I was, trying to fit it all in. And I wonder if anyone listening has ever experienced this. It's like I kept hearing this little whisper throughout the day, like, I'm tired. This is too much. I can't. And I didn't feel that I had a choice. I had to. And so if that voice presented itself in the morning and like I wanted to sleep in a little bit, I was like, I can't. I'm already behind. So instead of listening to it and leaning in, I would have caffeine so that I could. I mean, I still have caffeine, just the intention is very different. If I heard that voice at night, like I've had a full day in the practice and I'm tired, or for someone else, it might be like they've had a full day at work and they just need to put their feet up. And instead I was cooking for my family, which I of course love, but like wasn't nurturing myself. Instead of being able to lean in and listen to that voice, because I didn't feel like I had the tools or that I would have a glass of wine. No harm, no foul, but like my intention behind the wine was to kind of like shut the voice, or to feel like I was giving myself something while I was serving everyone else. And so, I love to say we get these whispers, and when we don't listen, they turn into a scream. And so over time, what started to happen to me was I just started not feeling right. I started getting really bad headaches. I'm like a very healthy person. I don't really ever get headaches. They started getting progressively worse. And then things got really scary. Like I started to not be able to handle my kids' voices. Like it was like nails on chalkboard. And then everything kind of hit. On one weekend, we were out. We used to have a sailboat, and we had the kids out on the sailboat. And my body, it literally just like pain went up my spine, like one vertebrae at a time. And I know my body really well. It felt like it was systemic. Like I felt like I got put into a massive state of fight or flight that there was no trigger. And I couldn't get myself out of. I actually remember grabbing a glass of wine. I'm like, I need to like calm this. Like, what is going on? And it did nothing. And then I was starting to like lose my way on the way to this office. We built this office 15 years ago. It's 2 miles down the road from where we were living, and I would get lost. I would literally have to like pull out GPS, and I knew the address, but I couldn't find my way. And I didn't tell anyone. I like whispered like, I feel a little off lately. Something's going on. Like something was majorly wrong. And so one day, I said it to my husband. I was like, something's really wrong. Like, I need you to take the kids. And it's so funny. This is such a horrible story. He's such a good guy. And this sounds horrible, but this is true, because when we don't highlight how bad it is, people don't understand. And so that weekend when we were on the sailboat, when stuff was really hitting, I told him. And he's like, well, I have plans to go fishing with my dad. So how about you take the kids home? You probably just have keto flu. So I'm like, I feel like I'm dying. And instead of, having someone help me take care of me, I end up driving the hour back home with 4 kids because we had a friend with us. Anyway, I go to urgent care. I demand testing. There's something wrong with me. I need to get tested. The doctor at urgent care also told me I'm a busy mom. I'm probably just stressed. I should go home and rest. Anyway, I said, I'm not leaving until you test me. There's something wrong. And if you're not going to put it on my chart, I'm not leaving your office. So he tested me. It turns out I had Lyme disease. And coupled with what we realized later is that we had massive amounts of mold on the sailboat. And so I ended up with a neurological form of Lyme. Physical testing revealed my symptoms were tied to encephalitis and meningitis, and then mold toxicity on top of that. And so I got really sick. Like I remember days where I couldn't formulate an email. Like I couldn't think. And so for me, because I didn't listen, like that's where it led me. And I think we all have our different version of that, I think that our body tries to give us these signals, and you could call it burnout, or you could call it illness. You could call it anxiety. Mine transpired in my nervous system, which in hindsight is like the greatest gift, because I've always loved the nervous system, and it made the nervous system for me like the canary in my coal mine. In a coal mine. So like I feel things very quickly and easily now that irritate the nervous system. So it's become my quest to figure out, like, how do we regulate it in all circumstances? And what I've discovered is these like really tangible tools that take seconds that can move the needle. You and I just had one. We were recording and the internet shut down, those moments where you go into fight or flight, but it's not survival. Our nervous system is still functioning as if all these things that happen in our life threatens our survival when it's not true. And so we've got to retrain the hardwiring. And those are the tools that I've discovered and that I use now in my life. And I'm not saying I don't get stressed. I'm not saying I'm perfectly calm and always connected. But what they've gifted me is the ability to easily know when I do get out of alignment, how to get back in seconds.
Wow. That's some powerful shit, yo. Cause like, let me let me be honest. Like, we we've been having more and more attention to the impacts of stress of late. We had a family friend that unfortunately passed away, and uh, assuming it was a heart attack in stressful circumstances. And we've all been in those in scenarios where stress has gotten to us. Like I remember my personal story. After my old man passed, I was getting these heart palpitations, and I thought I was I thought I was going crazy. I thought there was something inherently wrong with me, and I was explaining this to my one of our social workers on palliative care. My other job was in palliative care at the time, and she's like, "Oh, this is very typical of post loss or mourning. Like you're just it's manifesting in your body."
His
And
heart, your heart was broken.
yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
and I'll never forget that. Like because I went through all the tests and obviously nothing popped up, but it was very eye opening for me in terms of the impact that stress and that mind body connection is. And I know your story, Melissa, my story. There's tons of everyone has a story, and if we could talk about the tools that we can use at a day to day to kind of, as you in your words, realign. I think this could be some
Hmm.
powerful a powerful tool that we could give people. So
Yeah.
ultimately, where do we start, Melissa? Like I mean, we've all seen these tricks of the trade on our IG, and I mean, I do some myself, but
Hmm.
I don't want to take away from your magic. What's some of the ways that we could do this individually?
Yeah, so there's two main things I want to talk about, and I think we take a deep dive into each one because I really want your listeners to walk away from this time that they spend listening to this podcast with knowing exactly what to do. And I don't want it to just be another podcast telling them to gratitude journal and to breath work and to, all these outside in things. Like this is real and this is going to be about shifting and retraining the hardwiring of your nervous system, and this is going to change everything. And so the first thing that I suggest that they do, this is going to sound really silly, but just bear with me here. Think about, so I call myself an alignment guide, right? Like when we can get into alignment, that's the word I'm going to keep using in this conversation. When we're in alignment, that's when we feel our best. That's when our nervous system is regulated. That's when we're in a flow state. That's when, whatever you believe, that's when you're connected to God, you're connected to source. You can hear your own voice again, your inner wisdom. This is, we're surrounded with knowledge. Let's get back to our inner wisdom so that I know, what do I need in this moment? And I get that answer and I know it's true enough and I can follow it. Because that's where we stop needing everything outside of us that we don't have access to. So think about, what is one word that perhaps describes, we can do this too, perhaps describes like a state that you find often that you don't like. For instance, if the listener is someone who easily feels anxious, or like for me, I used to always feel stressed. Like no matter what was going on in my life, I would feel stressed. So think about a word that describes a state that you feel often. I'll use stress in this conversation for me. Is there one that maybe resonates with you?
Yeah, stress is a good one. Where, or I can't think of the right word otherwise, but where you feel like you're on edge, or you got to be doing that one mess, and one, you're missing out on something, or you there's something you're forgetting. There's an email you forgot to respond to. Motherfuckers are gonna get super angry at you because you didn't approve that meeting invite. Like, I don't know what you would call that.
Yeah,
Stress, I
let's
guess?
call it stress. Yeah,
Okay.
let's call it stress. Okay. So everybody take a moment and like write down your word. Like, what is your word? Because what we're going to do is we're going to establish a new word in a minute. And Dr. K and I will speak from stress, but maybe, like I said, yours is anxiety. So that is your current aligned state. And so what that means is that, as you experience joy or freedom or ease or whatever it is, you will tend to find yourself back into alignment, and your alignment is stress. So, like for me, what that looked like, and for what a lot of people, how we put ourselves into that yuck aligned state, is the questions that we start to wake up with. So, like the things you were describing, I would imagine you'd wake up with questions like, what email do I need to get on? Who's waiting for me? What am I supposed to be doing? Right? We've become human doings.
What am I forgetting?
What am I forgetting? For someone who maybe has some feelings of anxiety, it's like, who did I hurt? Who did I upset? Why did I say that yesterday? Right? And so we, especially in the morning, the first thing I want people to do is start to listen to their questions before your eyes even open. Do an internal audit, and the audit starts with listening to the questions that you're asking yourself. And we're still in part 1 of this, but part 2 is going to be, I'm going to help you understand the brain waves that you're in, because this morning time, this is your subconscious and you're training it. And so, like for us, it's, what am I missing? What do I need to be doing? So you start to listen to what those questions are. This is actually your theta brainwave. I'm just going to pair the brainwaves in right now too. This is your theta brainwave. We go through a variety of brainwaves in our day, and as long as we're working with them, we will find alignment. We will find nervous system regulation. They're like gears in a car, right? And so you wouldn't wake up and go into third gear. Like, you wouldn't get in a car and go into third gear. You ramp up slowly, right? And so many of us, when we wake up first thing in the morning, we're going into third gear by asking those kinds of questions. Where do I need to be? What do I need to be doing? Blah, blah, blah. That's beta. That's a brainwave of like doingness. But we're burning out, we're frying, we're feeling frazzled because we're hitting it first thing in the morning. That's third gear. We got to warm up to it. So in this morning time, you start to listen. That's the action step. You listen and pay attention to questions that you're asking yourself. And we're going to start to put in other questions. We're going to do a question audit. And that's all you're going to do in the morning first thing. So you and I have the word stress as our old aligned state. So let's think about, what do we want our new aligned state to be? What do you want to feel? What do you want to come to during the day when you get pulled out of alignment? Mine's fun. I always want to find fun.
Yeah, like I think of joy. I think of lightheartedness, like just like back to who I know, like who I am, which is like deep down a fun go lucky, just love to laugh, and yeah, just trying to bring more joy and laughter and ease into
I
the
love
space.
that. I
So
love that. Joy. Is it okay if we make it joy for
yeah, let's
you?
make
Because
it
that,
joy.
that
Yeah.
matches your light. Yeah, I like that one. So other great ones people tend to choose when I'm walking them through this is like freedom or calm or connected. So let's use joy. Okay, so for you in the morning, Dr. K, as you're waking up tomorrow, and as you're maybe hearing these questions that are coming through you, where do I need to be? What do I need to do? I want you to insert specific questions like, how can I find joy today? How can I create joy today? And I know this sounds like super silly, but this is literally how we win the day. And when we win the day, we win our week, we win our month, we win our life. So you're in theta brainwave first thing in the morning, and this is when the gateway to your subconscious is super open. And so whatever we do in theta, we are hardwiring into our nervous system for that day as our aligned state. So when we wake up in beta, in stress mode, when we hop on our emails, when we ask ourselves the stressful questions, when we go right into the do, we are training our amygdala, the part of our nervous system that controls like what we do all day. This is the state that you want to find. So no wonder we find stress or chaos or anxiety. So instead, what you're going to do is you're going to train it to find joy. And you're going to do that in theta, first thing in the morning. You do not get on your devices. You do not look at white or bright lights because that'll pull you right into beta. You are going to stay super chill in your bed. If you have any light around you, make sure it's like red or amber light. So it's super subtle and eases you in. And start to ask questions about how you can bring joy into the day. So I'm going to ask you that now. How could you bring joy into your day? Like realistically, what micro moments of joy could you fit in?
I mean, is it weird that I feel a little bit emotional thinking about this? I don't know why. Yeah,
No.
like it's you're catching me on a bad day too, man. But it's when I think about how to bring joy, um, I think of the kids, like first thing when I see them, like some form of contact, like I mean I have three boys, so it's always a bit trickier with them, but some kind of contact, hug, even just like, you know, some form of like handshake even, but touching the boys, um, giving love to Mama Bear, like like a quick dry hump. Um, yeah, um, like I mean, I look back at some of the happier moments in life. Like I'm, as you can appreciate from the last comment, I'm pretty ridiculous and love the random comedy and just trying to bring more laughter to the day. So just be adding a lens of silliness.
Yeah.
Um, you know, something it's easy in the morning. Now I think about it. Forgive me if I'm going on a little bit too long. You can cut me off, but you get the right tune on. Like if you get the right tune on, that could get you going. Like I'm not shy to like boogie in the morning. I get joy out of moving the body, so I'll exercise. Usually that's the first thing I'll do my mornings, like core routine, just to help out with my back, and then usually do a workout in the basement. Um, what else do you do? You mean first thing, or just I forgot the question already, or
Throughout
just
the
throughout the
day.
day?
I mean,
Throughout
you've
the day?
nailed it already. You've nailed it.
Yeah, I think and just smile more. Like I usually have, or uplift people.
Mhm.
I think I have that superpower. Like if you and I are in the same room together, or you're gonna leave there more like you're gonna leave there more
Lit
filled or
up.
happy, yeah,
Hmm.
you lit up than before. If when I'm at when I'm at my best, and that lifts me.
Hmm.
Yeah, so I think any of that I think would lean towards that joy
Yeah,
side of
I
things.
love that. And how much extra time do any of those things that you listed take you?
Oh, yeah, not much. Like
Hmm. And
it's a matter of being intentional and having it front of mind.
yeah.
Uh, yeah, yeah, 100%.
And can I ask how old your kids are?
They are turning 13, turning 11, almost 7.
Oh, cute. Okay, mine are similar ages. I've got just turned 9, almost 13, and 14.
Oh, right on. Yeah.
So, as a parent, I want to ask you this, and for any parents in the audience, and if you don't have kids, then your loved ones or your fur babies. So, when you are out of alignment, because your new alignment is joy, and that's you. Like I could see it. I think anyone who's watching this can see this. You are joy. When you're out of alignment and when you're in stress, how many of those beautiful moments with your family and your loved ones do you miss?
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Hmm.
there's no doubt about it. It's
Hmm.
yeah, no, you miss out, and I mean that's maybe part of why I get the emotional part is twofold. That one, that you realize how much more you could be offering, and the nature of my job, unfortunately, leads to like it's hard to turn off the stress at times, and um, but also the idea that sometimes you just feel far away from it, if that makes sense. Like you feel far away from the that alignment with joy, which yeah, I think um yeah, that's probably what drew a little bit of a verklempt moment for me.
Yeah, well, thank you for sharing that because I think that probably most people listening can very much relate to that. I think it's really easy to get pulled into success and our careers. And I 100% struggle very much to be fully present with my family. And it's the most important thing. And, as a woman, you're constantly hearing, like, enjoy every moment, it goes so fast. And so then we double beat ourselves up. And it's hard. And we're all doing the best that we can. But for me, when I got sick, what I realized is like everything that I was being told would help me be more present with my children took time away from them. It took more time away from them to go do the massage so that I could calm down and turn off work. And I still do all those things because I think there's a place for the macro tools and then there's the micro. But I'm a huge fan of like what I call microdosing, but I don't necessarily mean microdosing what people are talking about microdosing these days. I'm going to microdose connection so that I can be at least hopefully 90% of the time present with my children when they're in front of me, and that I can also be connected and present with myself and forgive myself in the moments where I don't, because we're human and that's going to happen. But I think, what's really powerful too is talking to our children about it. Like, I really missed that moment, or I'm sorry that I reacted that way. That's my stress. Don't take it on. Because I think we role model for them how to do it when they experience it. We're human. So
That's a good point though about like we do role modeling, and I'm in an era too right now of all the devices, all the things. It's like it's been in so many ways even more important to be as present as we can be.
yeah, and it can be harder. So I like to use the word practice. We're practicing. And every day we practice, and every time we say our word, we're practicing. And every morning when we take 2 minutes to focus on joy and lay in our bed and ask ourselves that intentional question, we're practicing. And we're not showing up perfectly because that's not what practice is. But the more we do practice, the more when it's game time, we can show up the way that we want to show up because the work has been done. So we're training our nervous system so that it can easily go from here to here. Our nervous system is very malleable.
And you know what? As you're saying this, Melissa, too, it's funny. I maybe it's just a bit of an aha moment right now. It's I made reference in the morning, like I hurt my back years ago, and so you go through, as you know, as a chiropractor, you go ups and downs between having those black flares, and so the first thing I do in the morning is my core exercises to prime my those muscles so that they're going to be ready to go. They're protecting. And I'm thinking that's the same thing with the joy. Like when you're primed on it, you're going to see it more. You're going to be more ready to bring that energy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really embracing this.
I love it. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So there's actually a part of our nervous system. It's called the reticular activating system. It doesn't matter what it is. It's basically a filter. I mean, you know all this. But for the listeners, if you've ever experienced like that situation where, maybe you decide you're going to buy a red car and all of a sudden there's red cars everywhere that you never saw before, or, whatever it is, like you're now looking at something that you never looked for before. We are surrounded with so much sensory information that our brain has to filter out. But we can teach it what to filter. And that's what we're doing here too. Like you said, we're priming. And so as you're priming your brain filter in theta in the morning, because again, that's the gateway to your subconscious. So I'm all about time efficiency. You're going to get twice as much done in a quarter of the time because we all need more time. What you're going to start to find is opportunities for joy. You're going to start to find pockets of time And instead of checking for who needs you on the email in every moment that we all do, I mean, I catch myself at a red light checking my emails like, geez, God, can we give ourselves a break? Instead, how can I find joy right now? And putting on, for me, it's Aerosmith, putting on Aerosmith in the car and like rocking out. And I'm driving anyway. Like, why not find joy and play and fun? It's not changing anything that we're doing, but it's completely changing the way that we do it.
That I love that. I I think yeah, no, I just love it because it's one of those. I'm all about 80/20, like the small thing you could do that can have a huge impact,
Yeah.
and this is one of them. This is what
Mhm.
I'm hearing. So you're converting me, Melissa.
I'm just reminding you to get back. This is, like you said, this is who you are.
Yeah,
I just think, this day and age, we don't have, at least I didn't have, the tools to get me back to me. I had the tools to help me get to everybody else, to try to be everybody else, to try to do what everybody else was doing. But like, we've got it all here. I don't mean to sound woo woo, but like, it's all here and we're all different and unique and beautiful. And when we can get back to our own selves and our own light, like, that's it. Everything else comes through us so much easier. Like, we've all had those days where you're like, God, that day was just like a really good day. It was a really good day. And then what do we do in those moments? I don't know. This is what I used to do. Was it that I had a really cute shirt on for that podcast? It was the shirt. Was it that I was having a good hair day? It must have been the hair. No, you were in a flow state. You were in alignment. You just didn't know how to get there intentionally. And now you do. So now those days can happen whenever you want. Or if they don't, you at least know. Like, I definitely have days where I'm just running around and I choose to live the old way. I choose. It's a conscious choice, but that's the difference. I'm not a victim to it. I'm not wondering why my life is no longer my own. I get to the end of that day and I'm like, screw that. I don't like that anymore. Tomorrow's a fresh start. I'm doing it the new way. So it's a choice. You know how to get where you want to get.
and this totally is consistent with what we've been trying to preach. What we have in the book is take the power back. We all have a certain level of agency, and and this could help us keep us accountable. Like we often feel powerless when it comes to many things in life, and this in terms of our mindset, that energy that we're going to bring to the on a daily basis, it's empowering.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. So I've got like a guide for anyone who wants, more info. We can definitely share more here. I have some more little tidbits, but then if we can, we'll link some resources below for anyone who wants the deep dive. Um, this is 100% one of my favorite tools. People can message me. Like, I'm very active in my DMs or in my communities. This is what I'm here to do. This is how I'm here to serve. This is 100% what changed my life. So the next thing we would go through in the day, I'm just going to list out all the brain waves. They're theta, that's what we wake up in. Then we go to alpha, then beta, and then delta. And so people who meditate for years and years and years work to get into a state of theta, and specifically even more so alpha. Alpha is our flow state. Alpha is when we're completely present and time ceases to exist. It's like when you completely lose yourself in something. We did this all as a kid. We lived in alpha. But a lot of times we've kind of forgotten. I know I have like very much a part of me that's a timekeeper and like got to do this and then that. And so, alpha is a beautiful flow state and we don't even have to try to get in it. We naturally are in it when we wake up just after theta. And so, as I was teaching this in my community for a few years, the question I would get as I talked about, this is less about what we're doing and more about what we're being. Everyone's like, okay, but what do I do? Tell me what to do in alpha. I'm like, no, alpha is like not doing, but okay, what do I do? So your action step in theta is to listen. So that's to listen to that question and then create a new one. Your action step in alpha is to connect. I like to think of alpha as like our heart space. And so for me, what this looks like in the morning is I get out of my bed and I go to what I've called my sit spot. And all the women in my community, we've created a sit spot. And so your sit spot is just a place that you go in the morning before your beta brain kicks in. It's kind of like, for anyone who's wanted to start a workout routine early in the morning and you're going to start on Monday, it's like Sunday night you put out your workout clothes so that when you wake up in the morning, you don't talk yourself out of it. You just got to walk to your clothes and get to the car and get to the gym. So the sit spot is the same thing to help keep you out of beta, to help keep you from going on your phone and your emails and thinking about your to-dos. So for a lot of people, this sit spot is just like the couch. I've upgraded mine over the years. I've got like a really beautiful PEMF mat in there, a grounding mat. I've got a red light in there that I love that's therapeutic. In the things that are really important in your sit spot are to not have like traditional lighting. The white and blue light from our screens, from our phones, and in our homes will pull you right out of theta and alpha. And so even if it's for like 2 minutes, 5 minutes, we want to really maximize our time in this state. And so you can do this really inexpensively. I mean, you can literally take like a house lamp and go on Amazon and get a red light bulb and put that light bulb in your sit spot. I've got in our bathroom, we have like a red light night light. My phone, all of my screens, I've got the ability to triple click and do a red light filter. We can link a video on that below if anyone wants it. And then also a candle is a really good thing to have in your sit spot because a flickering flame, this is really interesting. A flickering flame will put you into a state of alpha at any point in the day. Any point. You could be here and you could look at a flickering flame and you're dropped down into alpha instantly. So think about like if you've ever sat at a bonfire or looked at a fire in a fireplace, it chills you out, right? And it's so interesting to me that there's flames in romantic restaurants because alpha is our connector and our flow state and our heart opener. And I don't know if that was intentional, but it's pretty cool. So what happens is the frequency of a flickering flame is the same frequency as alpha. When we drop down into alpha brainwaves, it's a low frequency. And so what happens when we look at that flame is something called mirror neurons, which is what like babies use a lot. You smile at a baby, the baby smiles back, they read your face. That's mirror neurons. Mirror neurons in our brain will mimic and match that frequency of the flame. So if you go into your sit spot and you're like, this is great, I heard this thing on this podcast, I'm going to try to, sit and be and not do. And all of a sudden you're like, but the emails, but the to-dos, but the blah, blah, blah. Like that's where the candle helps because it kind of like tricks your brain into chilling out for a minute. Lastly, a great spot for a journal. Like I have a journal there and this is kind of where I write out maybe all the crap that came up when I woke up that I heard, kind of coming through me. This is where we give a platform to our voice instead of everybody else's. So like this isn't necessarily where you're listening to someone else's podcast. This is where you're listening to you. I'm stressed about this day because I'm mad about yesterday because like whatever it is, it doesn't have to be pretty. You can literally like shred it and burn it. But this is where you start to hear yourself again. I think a lot of us have become experts at distraction. So we feel something that doesn't feel good. And it's like, well, let me get on my email. Let me get on socials. Let me get a quick dopamine hit. And so we bury these emotions that are actually insights into like a lot of clarity. And they're not that scary when you just start to create space for them. They're like a kid. Like to me, it's like a kid who's really upset or crying, or it's like they don't necessarily need you to fix it. They just need you to be with them. And then everything kind of transpires. And when we try to bury them, it's like an author, Nancy Levin wrote about it this way. It's like trying to hold a beach ball under the ocean. And what's going to happen is it's going to pop up at some time that's probably not convenient. So whether that's like anger or frustration or jealousy, when we try to push it, it's just waiting, and that's when someone cuts you off and you're like, ah! So alpha is the next phase. And I recommend people do, ideally it's like 15 minutes or a half an hour. I just like to be realistic. For me, sometimes honestly it's 2. And sometimes when I go for 2 minutes, I end up there for 20. So it's whatever we got, but it's just the point that, again, like gears in the car, that you're starting in theta and alpha before you attack your day. Then beta is the next one. That's like our main to-do. We all live in beta, so it's very familiar. The main action step I say in beta is there's 2 things. 1, put your phone and emails on do not disturb. This is like your hardest work. This is like the most focused. And then the second action step is to take micro doses of alpha and theta. So for Dr. K, this is in the busyness of the day. I don't know how much time you have or how many breaks you have, but like everyone's got to pee. So when you pee, how can you make it fun? Like, are you singing a song? Are you listening to a song? Just not checking your email and not checking the phones, like doing something for us. Maybe when you pee, you're drawing circles with the urine stream. This is
I
like
was thinking,
all about, and
honestly,
you're
that
gonna
was
think about
exactly what I'm thinking about. I'd be
you're gonna
like,
think about me when you do it.
oh yeah, I'm gonna be spelling my last name. Uh, you know what I mean? Better make sure it's a long stream, but yeah, like
Yeah.
it's yeah. There's so many things
But
that
this
can
is like all about like the sillier and the weirder you feel doing it, like you're nailing it. There's this one lady, I just gave a talk in Tennessee, and oh my God, I loved her. She came up to me after and she was like, I always wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Like I talked about, the dreams that we let die, and she was like crying in the front. It was so beautiful. And kind of like she let that one go, and it's like the dream that haunts her. And I was like, girl, get on Amazon and get yourself a costume. Like, get it. Like, do it and put it on and like let that be your microdose. And she sent me a picture and she's in it. She's in like one of those t-shirt versions of the swimsuit with like the six pack. I was like, yes, that is it. That's it. Like, why did we ever stop playing and being silly? Why? It's so much more fun. So she's like doing her emails and doing her behind the scenes stuff in her Dallas Cowboy outfit.
I love it. I love it. And honestly, we need more silliness. We need more like taking ourselves less seriously. Like
Yeah.
I love that. I
Like
love it.
look at both of us in this conversation, right? And hopefully anyone listening is resonating the same energy. And then you and I go out into the world with that energy. Like, is not that one of the most important duties that we have? Like, nobody is coming to save you. And I mean, you are an ICU practitioner, so you do come to save people, but in general, like we are our own responsibility. And I say it this way because when I say it this way, it helps women actually make time for it. So it sounds harsh, but I'm doing this to try to get you to stop worrying about everybody else and take care of yourself. Like, your shit is your business. I'm sorry to say it that way, but like, don't go out into the world with all of your stuff. Spend 5 minutes in the morning getting into a place of alignment, then go out into the world. Think about every interaction you have with like the Target cash register person or the gas station attendant. Like, we're either snapping at people and completely disconnected, or we're in a state of joy and presence and we're actually connecting as human beings again. Like, that's how we do it. That's how we take the big crazy stuff that's going on in the world and we ask, how can I actually do something? What can I do? You microdose it down to your family and to you and your community and where you can actually make an impact. I don't watch and scroll the news a lot because when I did that, it's like, well, what can I do? Like, how can I help? How can I serve? And it gets so overwhelming. And it's like a Mother Teresa quote that I love. You want to help the world, help your family. And it's permission to be selfish. And I actually prefer the word self with. Because when we can show up to the world as connected human beings, everything else is so much more beautiful and magical. And isn't that just like a lot easier than the stuff that we're trying to juggle and accomplish, in addition to all the stuff that we already have to juggle and accomplish?
I just feel like there's so many people that need this. Like I'm going to be sending this one directly to my better half after this because
Mm-hmm.
I mean we both obviously could use a little bit of rejuvenation, but just I think she's the crowd you're talking to. Busy mother of three, trying to a career. It's heavy, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Thank you. I mean, and I would love to hear from her. What I ended up doing is I created a community and,
I am so sorry. My one of my colleagues is. I wish I could show this. Actually, maybe I will show this. Can you
yeah.
see it? He's right there.
Is he hiding in the bush?
Yeah, he's hiding in the bush. He's gonna go. Yeah, he's now coming into the thing. Oh my God, he is like a maniac. This is a
Hey,
colleague.
look at him
That's
on his
Joy right
bike.
there. But
I love it.
oh my God.
That's it. My bike is my joy. That's what I do during my day. I go out on little bike rides, like 5 minutes.
There he is again. Oh my God. He just got back
Look
from Italy. You
at him.
wh- this is must see TV, folks.
Oh, I
Oh
love
my
it.
God. Where you
Hi.
where you coming from? General? Is it busy? Oh, I mean you're going home at 3. Love you too. Okay, I'm gonna call you later. You hyena.
Hyena.
Sorry about that, group, but I think that was worth the.
It's worth the show because that's what we all need to be making more space for.
Oh my God. I used to share an office with that piece of garbage, and he would leave his bike shorts everywhere. I would oh, it was the best and worst time of my life.
It's like he
Um,
came at the perfect time.
totally. I
Hmm.
mean, this is I mean, not I try not to give him accolades, but more of that in life, man. More of
Yeah,
that, and like even I won't lie, even this outfit. Hold on a second.
it's a good outfit. It's fun. It's
Oh,
fun.
it's
That is like
ridiculous though. And
that.
when I got it, I was like, you know what? Because you got to understand, well, we're just getting to know each other. But like, this is me. I have a velour outfit that I like to sport when I'm trying to be ridiculous. The other day, I was going overalls, topless overalls, just to be, be that silly dad, that embarrassing dad.
It's
Like,
amazing.
yes.
It's
So when I saw
amazing.
this outfit, I'm like, this is we're representing the baby blue, baby.
It's so good. It looks so good on you. And that's such a good example. Like little simple opportunities throughout her day. When a woman goes in her closet and she's like, that, I want to wear that, but I should wear this. Or when you're in the store and you're like, oh my God, that's so fun. But that's not me. Like, grab that and wear
Yeah.
that. And these are the ways that this is self care. Like, screw the massages, screw the facials, love all those things. I will still do them. But that is not self care. That is a to do. This is self care.
Yeah, and I must say, Melissa, too. I feel. I mean, this is a thing that you do as you're older. Like I've been more and more doing what I feel is either right or is more what I want to do as opposed to what I think I should be doing. Oh,
Yeah.
you should be wearing this suit and tie, even though you know what? I wouldn't mind sporting my Ghana kente cloth into this
Do
event
it.
because you know what, my mom and dad would love this, so I'm gonna bust that out. Like
Do
little
it.
things like that, like it just feeds your soul, feeds your heart, and I think I personally want to see more people align with who they are as opposed to playing the game. Because I think for me, what ruined a lot of things, and once again, we're just getting to know each other. But you and I are probably talking because of the pandemic and some of the advocacy that we were attempting to do during the pandemic for a more balanced approach, keeping schools open, and that cancel culture during that time. You had to just walk the line so much. So it was, you were afraid to speak your mind, and like the filter was thicker than it ever had been before in my life.
Yeah.
And I think at some point you almost lose yourself to a certain degree. So I think there's a bit of a with this less of a woke culture where a lot of us are just trying to come back to ourselves.
Yeah, I definitely get that. I mean, I felt like my filter was I'm an empath and I didn't want to hurt anyone and it was really hard because as a natural practitioner I was watching what was going on and like it was very clear to me what was going on and just very disempowering messaging and I'm like the viruses have been around for forever. Like, here's what we got to do. But like, people were so hurt and so upset and so triggered by hearing that message. And so I established a heavy filter, not because what I felt I was saying wasn't important. I felt like it was more important than ever. But like the empath part of me was just like, I did the Mother Teresa. I'm like, okay, I'm not going to scream it everywhere. I'm going to do it in my home and I'm going to show you, you know?
Yeah.
Like it can be this way and it's beautiful and like we are healthy. But yeah, it feels really good to like let the freak flag fly again.
Freak flag fly flyland. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, yeah,
Yeah. And
absolutely.
just I think what happened in COVID too is we had like a massive I look at life like contraction and expansion. And I think, the world goes through these pulses. I love the heart too. It's like a heartbeat. And COVID really was a massive contraction, and everyone was forced to go inward. And I think that, we saw a lot of drugs and alcohol and relationship changes and people who wanted to distract themselves out of the inwardness. And I don't blame or judge anyone. It was really intense times. But then what we're seeing now is massive expansion. You're seeing people change careers. You're seeing people move. You're seeing relationships change. And that's the natural rhythm. And so as I relate this back to our daily rhythm and the brain waves, what we're doing in the morning is we're starting in an inward place. We're allowing ourselves to have this contraction and to get back into our shell and remember who we are before we go out into the world. And when you do that, you come out with massive expansion. You come out with open energy. You come out magnetic and attractive because you've taken that time. And that can look like your community finding you, for women who are maybe lonely and isolated and don't have like-minded people. That can look like attracting the right partner. That can look like attracting the right job and career. I mean, we are energetic beings, and like whether you believe it or not, you are going to be pulled to that kind of energy in someone. It's attractive. It's light, right? And so, I mean, I'll just say it again, like to me, this is one of the most important things for us to do. It's a daily rhythm. It's like cycle syncing. You brought up your wife a minute ago, and I want to touch back on the relationship because this is something, so crucial to understand for the men listening, for the women in their lives, whether it's your sister, your mother, your girlfriend, or, you have a wife or you're looking to attract someone. This is how you support women. Like, I think I'm going to generalize here, but men are kind of like black and white. I've been married and with my husband for 20 years. We've been together for 20 years. And men in general, I think, are kind of black and white, and women are seen as like kind of complicated. Like we're really not complicated, but what we are is cyclical and we're rhythmic. And so you can't just like turn us on and turn us off. Like there's a gradual for a lot of things in the women world. And I think you all can understand what I'm saying here without saying it. But like we need a ramp up.
Non-dry humping.
Yeah. I tell my husband foreplay all day. Like foreplay is all day. Foreplay is in how you look at me at breakfast. Foreplay is in how you notice that I want a coffee before I even ask for it. Like we are rhythmic. And so when you can support a woman's rhythm through brainwave alignment, through honey, lay in bed, like just give yourself a minute before hopping into your to-dos. Like how about you drink some tea and just sit here? Like let me remind you to be in your feminineness for a little bit. Let me remind you to turn off your emails and your to-dos at night. Let me grab you in the kitchen and like pull you into alpha and let's dance together and be silly. Like when you pull a woman out of living in beta, because we're very much living in an over masculinized world, we've become career women and expert doers. When our men pull us out and help support that rhythm, like what you will see is unstoppable in the most beautiful, soft, feminine way. Like that is when you get your queen back. And so for any man listening to this, understanding a woman's brainwave rhythm as your own, it's the same. And also, cycle syncing is a super powerful Jedi tool for every man to understand. That's knowing your woman's, your partner's, your love's hormonal cycle and helping her align her rhythm to that cycle. So we're no longer a mystery. Like, oh God, when is it coming? Is she going to be, premenstrual? What do I say? What do I not say? Cycle syncing gives you like the code. It gives you the roadmap. So I can break that down really simply too, if people want it, or we can share a resource. Because I know we're getting heavy on time here. But
yeah, I know you got a hard stop. So listen, this has been juicy fruit. And I think people need more Melissa in their lives. So number one, where do they track you down? How do they get more of you? And of course, we're going to tag all the resources in the show notes.
Okay. Yeah, great. What I want people to have more of in their lives is themselves, right? So it's not me, it's themselves. But the tools, I talk about the tools a lot on my socials. So my Instagram handle is Be Inspired Mama, MAMA. I have a podcast as well with the same name, a YouTube channel where I share all these tools. My website has a section on resources. So that website is drmelissasaunders.com. drmelissasaunders.com. If you go to the resources page, there's all the free resources there. Grab the Regulate Your Rhythm. That's this topic, that's brainwaves. But message me, email me, tell me what you resonated with in this conversation. Tell me what you want more of. How can I help you? My dream is to be like Tinkerbell. I want to light everybody up, show them who they are again, and like saunter off and disappear on my way.
Melissa, this has been fantastic. You're seeing me go back and forth because I got to pee real bad. But listen.
Do the play thing.
Oh my God. Okay, but thank you so much. You are amazing.
You're amazing. Thank you, Dr. K. Okay, go pee. We'll see you next